Welcome back, everybody. As you can see, I've started putting the receiver back together. Watching my other videos, since I've changed cameras, I saw ways that I need to improve. Now, whether I can or not, I don't know. I'm using a tripod because I noticed on my other, the video was jerky, and hopefully I didn't make anybody sick. And the background noise of the air conditioner kind of messed it up. So what I've done is gone back to a tripod. It's a little bit short. I'd like to get it up a little higher, and I'll work on doing that. But as you can see, I've started going through the list. And actually I just started this page, but I'm double marking these. They're already marked, so I'm double marking them again. So I'm trying to put them back in the order that it came apart. Now, some of this I left in place, like the wiring, and I don't know if that's going to help me or hurt me in the long run, but we'll see. But just going to start putting it back together. I guess I got a little bit of aggressive and put all this stuff in, and it's like, man, I should have probably shot a video starting it, but I didn't. But this advertised as like a 36-point connection. It looked like more than 36 points of wire there after you build the PC boards. So I don't know. Maybe it is. One of the things on the power supply side of it, I'm going to put some safety caps in there to replace the ones, and I'm also going to put a polarized plug, which shouldn't, you know, with a transformer in it, you know, shouldn't be that big a deal, but still, my new cords are polarized, so that's what I'm going to do. Alright, let's get to it. There's not going to be a whole lot of detail of soldering and putting it in. I'll just do it in stages and as I mount, and then when we get closer, we'll be doing some testing. Okay, on another note, this refers to figure 3. Which apparently is an overview of all the parts location, which is they call it a fold out or whatever. Every copy of this manual, I have not been able to find that, and so I'm having to guess and use my pictures of where the stuff came from to start with. So that's, if anybody doing this in the future, try to locate that, and if somebody can locate that figure 3 fold out and tell me where to get it, I'll be happy. I might be able to do it to some of these places that sell the manuals for money, but at this point I'm getting really close, and I don't know that I've got most everything mounted, and I've took a lot of pictures, so I may not necessarily need that right now. Couple of more steps. Ooh, thunder rolling. Mounted the transformer and the printed circuit board. It's 2 steps. I think when you built this initially, when you built the printed circuit boards, that was primarily the bulk of the work, and the rest of it is just point-to-point wiring from there. So thought I'd give you an update. Always surprises. I went to put in L16, and it calls for 5.5 Henry choke, and so I looked in my box, and all I could find is this 8 Henry 40 milliamp DC, 450 ohms. Now, you guys witnessed this thing was working. this thing is open. It's open. I don't know what happened, but it's open now. So now I've got to start finding a choke. As usual, always double check your stuff. I determined this was open. Checked it several times and it was open. I went in the house, found a replacement, bought it, ordered it. I came back and I said, well, let me check this with an analog meter. Well, I checked it with an analog meter and it worked. About 450 ohms or so, about 400 ohms by the analog. I come back and I check this again. Now it's 546 ohms with this meter. I'm going to look and see if there's some loose connections in here or something, because it sure seemed like it was open before. But it sure seems to be working now. Well, I've got a spare choke if anybody needs one now. Okay, the instructions now makes me refer to the large, see figure 6 on a large separate sheet. Well, I didn't have figure 3, now I certainly don't have figure 6. There's some stuff missing here. Fortunately, whoever built it before put TS3 and TS2 to list these. And reading the instructions, it says solder terminal 2 to TS1 to the lug mounted with TS1. So this has got to be soldered here. And so I made the assumption this is TS1 and this is TS2 and TS3. So I wish I had those fold outs, but I don't. But maybe somewhere in the future someone can use this video and know where it's at. Now I'm to the steps. Wiring these two capacitors in with this resistor. I believe this is part of the remote. Does that sound right? Yes, the remote. And of course this is also the terminal here. The TS3 is for the AC coming through the fuse. So this is where we're going to replace these two capacitors with our safety caps. And I'll show you what that looks like when we get that done. Okay, here's something you run into. The instructions say to connect the short black wire, shortest of the black wires, from T2, which is the transformer. Okay, they're white. Then it goes up here, it says connect the green wire to the ground here. These are yellow wires. I suspect that this might not be the original transformer. I don't know. But so far the color codes of the transformers totally different. Remember I said that I believe this transformer had been changed. There was some evidence. There was only 2 screws in the transformer. The primary and the filament voltage windings are different colors, and these 2 wires were just clipped off. Looking at my photographs, one of the filaments went to ground like that, and the other one, according to the instruction, says to go to number 4. Well, this has been lifted off you can see. And when I look at my photographs that I took initially, this lead was actually soldered to this, which is the same as 4, but it means that this lead was not inserted here. So I believe this transformer to be a replacement. I'll look on the transformer and see if I can find a number and see if it even comes close to what the parts list. Sometimes it's listed correctly and sometimes it's not. Let me show you what I did to this. I slipped a little glue underneath the trace, but I knew that wasn't going to hold. But it would hold it in place till I could get some another repair. So what I did is I took an old lead off of an old capacitor, and I bent it at a 90-degree angle and stuck it down in the hole, and then ran it out the length of one of the traces. Then I used some soldering flux, and I made sure I got it on all the traces and including the wire. So I just basically reinforced this connection here. Before they had it up here with several wires, 6, 7, and 8, and they added one more. So and that's probably one of that's got cut off or something there. So this is going to have to be cleaned up here. But just a little reinforcement there. I took my meter and checked the traces out, and this is the filament. It'll be pretty figure it out real quick if it's not working properly. Transformer 101-311. I checked it against the parts list, and that is the number that is listed on the parts. So I'm going to go and look and see. Like I say, this receiver was the 83YU 726. Now the R100 is the next generation. I'm just wondering if this, and this is a long shot, really doesn't matter. I know how this is wired up, but I'm just wondering if this, I'm just curious whether somebody has changed the wire colors, or this is, the wire colors have changed in a later model. I don't know. Does it matter? No. It's just all good questions, right? Primarily, got a few more wires, but I've been going by the list and been connecting what I can. Trying to go down through the list. Now there's some things that's already put together, like the boards, and the next step, what's next, is to start assembling the IF board. So it's already assembled, so I'll check down through there and then start whatever it tells me to do with that board. But I'll give you a look. Maybe I can get it focused in here. And I plan on, once I get this more complete, I'm going to go and try to doctor up some of the wiring and route those a little bit better. Actually, this one could have been made a little shorter, I guess, but I think it's supposed to route around the chassis like that, since it's an audio cable. Goes to the headphones. But that's it. It's coming together. I'm hoping within the next week or so I can apply power to it. I've started putting it all back together with the brackets, connecting this up, wiring it all up. I'm sure when it's all said and done, I'm going to forget to connect something. One of the things, and I may have already mentioned it in the video, but if you run into this, you do have a step-by-step instruction However, when they scanned the schematic and the instructions and the manual into the databases, there are some fold outs, figure 3, figure 6, figure 11, and they're fold outs. Well, they didn't get scanned, and they're basically the road map and just shows where, and it may say go to T6, and if you don't know what T6 was, then you don't know what T6 is. You can figure it out, and I, once again, didn't do enough pictures. I take a lot of pictures, and I go back through my videos, and not all the time do you get good video either, to see where the wires and what parts are what, because nothing's listed as like T6 or T2 and T3. So I've labeled them as I have found them out, but that's one of the pieces I wish I had, was those fold outs. So anyway, that's where we're at. Just going through the list and what I can connect together. Some things I already left together, some things I didn't. So I will just keep going along. Just wanted to give you guys an update. Here's the front panel. I've put the had to clean these up, had to be really careful. Some of the lettering is already partially gone, so I didn't do anything other than just clean it up. This panel is a little bit darker than I would like, but I think it'll be okay. Looks okay. Pretty good electrical storm going on right now. If y'all will remember, on the, I believe it's a BFO and also on the band, there was some lines coming down to the selector switches. Now, this was just kind of cross hatches, just various position, 9, 12, 3, with some in between. Didn't want to trust trying to paint it, but so what I've done is I've gotten some 1/32 pinstriping. Yes, that's going to be very tedious putting that on, and it may not stay on, but we're gonna try it. When I was putting my video together, I realized I didn't update you on the lines that I had put on with the pinstripe, so there those are. And whoop, right there. So okay. And let's see, maybe update you on that. Getting that mark out of there. I think it came out pretty good. It's pretty shiny. I can see myself. Progress report. As you can see, I've put the front dial on. I haven't put the S meter on. It's an add-on later, but I'm thinking about going ahead and putting it on now, since it takes all this to hold the front on, because it's taped to it. Let's see what I have here. What did I do with it? Yikes, I threw it away. No, here it is. Remember, it said to apply this with tape. So this is going to be put here, and I'm hoping that all this is going to be lined up properly when the time comes. So we'll see. We'll see. May have to make some adjustments somewhere. Okay. As you can see, I've started putting it all back together, and I have put a little bit of epoxy to hold these, because the tabs have broken off. So hopefully that's where they need to be. But as you can see, that's where it's all at. I'm gonna polish that up a little bit. I changing cameras and everything, I kind of lost the some footage. I did come up with some number 3 Novus, and I got most of that out. If you'll remember, there was a big scar there. I got most of that out. It's still dusty, but let me see if I can dust it off just a little bit. May make it even worse with this, but anyway, it attracts a lot of dirt, so that's, I think you can see that. Maybe I'll get it at an angle. You can see that it's not that noticeable anymore. And I think I've got that lined up with the S meter. So it's just a matter of getting it all back together. I think I've got it wired back, but we'll see. I went ahead, connected the S meter up, connected the crystal calibrator up. So this is pretty much the way it was. A little cleaner than it was. Now if we can get it to work, it will be a success. But you know, the guy that built it in 1958 or so, he used this same procedure that I've got over here to bring it up, and he possibly had to troubleshoot it from it. Okay, so there you go. Okay, starting to put it back together. Got the front on, starting to put the knobs on. Maybe see what you think of that. I'm not a very good painter, but it turned out okay. The front of it's a little bit darker than I really wanted, but I think it'll be okay. Let me go ahead and get the knobs on, see what it looks like. Okie dokie. Moment of truth. I'm gonna bring it up the same way that whoever built it in the 50s did, not using a variac. Yeah, I'm taking my chances, but you know, this is the way it was back in the day. It says put the fuse in the cap, tighten it in the fuse holder, turn the RF gain and the AF gain all the way counterclockwise. It says do not touch any of the wiring while the receiver is plugged into a power outlet. It says plug the receiver in the AC outlet, supplying 110, 120 AC. If you're in doubt about the type of power, consult your local power company. Turn the standby receiver cal switch to standby. The 2 lights, which probably 3 since we've added this, the dial light should be on in these switch positions. You also, it should be on, then you switch it to receive and cal, and it should be on. There's no tubes in here, so we don't have any high voltage. So if we turn this on, we should have lights. And we do. Let's see, do we have lights here too? We do. Well, all 3 of those, that is on. That is on. Okay. Let's proceed with that. Instructions say to populate all the tubes except the rectifier, which I did. They're all in there except the rectifier. And so what it tells me to do is to check, turn it from off to standby to see that they all glow except D3, which is the regulator tube, and it's not going to. It'll glow when we put the rectifier in, but it won't be until we do that. So I've got to check, make sure they all glow, which I'm pretty comfortable they will, but I'll get back. And then we'll put the rectifier in, and then we'll check it. And we'll put the tube shields in also during all this. Rectifier tubes in. Let's see if there's any sparks fly. See none. It says the OB2 should glow. I can't tell. I'm going to turn the light out and see. Okay, antenna is connected. A speaker is connected. So let's see what happens. Have some audio. Well, all right. We have, now is it working the way it should be? Probably not. We've got tubes, probably need cleaning as far as the pins. That's always an issue. Let's try something here. Let's see if we can tune our antenna a little bit. Alright. So, we have a working product. You can see, doesn't look that bad, I don't think. But, so we're going to end this one tonight with a working unit, and so we're going to in the next one we're going to probably go through the alignment, make sure everything is working properly, and then we'll see where it takes us from there. So from Larry from the hills of Tennessee, thanks for watching. Okay, I did some tube wiggling. Got a little bit more volume, so there's some connection issues that we've got to deal with. The other bands, we are receiving. So I believe a matter of cleaning and alignment will be in good shape. So I'd already closed this video out once, but I'll do it again. But I do appreciate you guys watching. Still got some cleaning and some alignment issues, but we'll get that in the next part. So once again, Larry from the hills of Tennessee, thanks for watching.